Doesn't really mean anyone is watching or anyone will watch, but this is for the mediators on YouTube. Every day I'm trying to put information that might get through to my ex-partner that abducted and lied about being assaulted and all kinds of things. But it's not to bring her down or put her down. I need to get the message through to try and stop her from abusing my children with her mother. I'm looking for you to stop blocking the videos where I speak about reaching out. It seems to be okay for my ex-partner to say that I'm a rapist, that I've beat her, that I'm abusive, that I'm stalking her, that I harass her, that I cause her distress, that I'm hurting my children by doing this. This is a woman that's had the police and prosecutors and friends and people from her work. I've had the Prosecutor Catherine, take me into a prison cell in Gorzhov and have me beaten and lost for 2 days. I don't know if anyone else that consider themselves in no way a criminal. People that haven't been in prison before. And you're just taken off the street. And seconds before that, your ex-partner said to you that you're going to go to prison. And you're like, what do you mean? And she said, you're going to prison. And she knew what was going to happen. Because the prosecutor, Catherine, her friend, told her that what was going to happen. Now, when the policeman came and arrested me, he tried his best to try and release me. He contacted the Catherine and said, this guy's done nothing wrong, there's no reason to hold him. She said, you're holding him as a terrorist. She held me as a terrorist. A woman, to please her friends, took me off the street and used her position to throw me in a prison cell and call me a terrorist when I'd committed no crime. And the prosecutor Catherine is a terrorist. That's why she went to the prosecutor above, Prosecutor Krzysztof Rzycki, and asked Prosecutor Krzysztof Rzycki, will you help us, because this man's doing X, Y and Z to my friend or the people within my community or my church. And Prosecutor Catherine asked Krzysztof Rzycki, can you disable this man's life? Can you cause fraud in the court? Because every time I went to court when he was there wasn't any problem with having the case cancelled or winning against this man. But to be taken away from my children and called a rapist and called abusive and called a woman beater, and then taken off the streets and thrown in a foreign prison cell and called a terrorist and held there, it breaks you. I just want the people from YouTube, those people from YouTube, to stop banning the videos from being uploaded. I'm just trying to get a message through to my children. My daughter's at a stage now, she's 11 years old. I've not seen her in 3 years. We had the closest relationship and she's frightened of me for no reason. I've never lifted my hand to man, woman or child, defended myself and been in many positions where I've been attacked in Poland. I've been in positions where I've been a terrorist in Poland. But they make it a criminal offence for me to say that woman called me a terrorist, or that woman called me a rapist, or that woman was assisted by a UK charity called Edinburgh Women's Aid. Now, why would a UK-funded charity assist a woman to abuse children? Why would Edinburgh Women's Aid assist in the abduction? Why would they advise to use false allegations? All of these things I wanted answers to, but realistically I just want my children to know that I love them and for them to be able to spend time with me without the fear of life being put into them from their Polish child abusers that abducted them. Now, being back in Scotland and having proven most of these allegations false, because you can only prove something false when you're allowed to be there. And with Krzysztof Rzycki going against me every time, because he wants to help Prosecutor Catherine, because he doesn't want to see Prosecutor Catherine suffer because she's a terrorist. She is a terrorist, and she should lose her position. She should be put in prison for what she done. But Krzysztof Rosinski's helping this child abusing terrorist, Prosecutor Catherine, and Prosecutor Catherine is helping the child abductor. Now, it seems to be that women's charities can constantly give assistance to abusive women, but men who are being abused and children being abused, they have nowhere to turn. We have nowhere to turn. And when we do turn and ask for help, if in any way we stand against the feminist that abuses children, we're brushed to the side. This woman called me a rapist, and this woman said I beat her and abused her, and I didn't do that. I didn't prove that I didn't do that. She admitted. She admitted it was a lie, and she admitted that a charity told her to say it. Now, I don't know if she's telling the truth, but she said this under oath in court. It seems to me that it might be easier to get the truth standing in front of her when the people that know she's lying are looking her in the eye. Because when I look her in the eye and she's in front of the judge, she tries to lie, but she can't do that. She's lied in front of the judge and she's misled the judge, and that's been proven, but that doesn't matter when it's a local Polish woman who abuses children and is protected by the Catholic Church and protected by her family and protected by prosecutors because her friend, Prosecutor Catherine, committed terrorism and held me in a prison cell, gave me nothing to eat. They treated me in a way that still to this day was a cause of intentional alarm and distress. And the sick thing is, coming back here and finding yourself, you can find yourself in a position where, I'm ready to work, I need to earn money. And I went out and got a job, and the job that I was offered with was a company called Scottish Power, an energy company. I used to do very similar work in Australia with a company called Energy Australia. I built sales teams and I made these companies money. The money that I made in Australia was maybe not these days a lot of money, but it was about between $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a week. And the men that I worked with, Mike Irving, Paul Burkett, Shane Warne, these men are multi-millionaires. These are good, strong businessmen. But if I had that money today, I would have my children today, because the child abuser is only interested in destroying the life of our partner, looking good to the children and having what he's got. Since losing my children, I've lost my family home in Neilston. The Royal Bank of Scotland has taken that. But every day you wake up and you don't get to see your daughter. You don't get to speak to your son. You're given these jobs. You go away and you work 3-4 days. You do all the legals and compliance. And then they do a background check, which is called Disclosure Scotland. Now, although I've told you about what happened with this woman and it's proven in court, that is just brushed to the side. Because she's an abusive woman, that's brushed to the side, and she can start again from fresh. And I become the terrorist again, causing the child abuser intentional alarm and distress. Now, this is what I've received in Scotland. It's a Disclosure Scotland, and it says, and it's a basic disclosure. I've been told by drug and alcoholics, because I go to a drug and alcoholic rehabilitation Christian centre, not because I'm a drunk drug addict or alcoholic, but because I have to live in about £280 per month. And at that, Scotland stops me from any employment. They stop me from being employed. So there's a few things here. Krzysztof Rosinski's assisting a prosecutor who threw me in a prison cell and treated me as a terrorist. My ex-partner's being assisted by the prosecutor, Catherine, who threw me in the prison cell. She's being assisted because a women's charity in Edinburgh called Edinburgh Women's Aid, which is still funded by the Scottish Government, they advised her to lie about being raped, and when she'd done that, I was taken in and questioned and everything. My life was done. But I've just told you I can still get jobs because I can quite honestly say to people that in court I was shown to be innocent of the allegations that she made. It doesn't seem to matter that she made false allegations of rape, but if I actually say that she's a child abductor who's abusing my children and alienating them, that's what's causing the alarm and distress to the child abuser that called me a rapist. Now, I know there might be some people that agree with treating men like dirt, and there might be some decent women out there who care about their children. And no matter what that nasty man might do, you'll know that your children deserve to know him and deserve to have a relationship with him. If there's anything else that you think other than a child should have a relationship with a safe, loving parent, then you're a narcissistic psychopath, like my ex-partner. I pray for Kasia. I try to forgive her every day, and I do get to the stage inside I feel peace. But it's ongoing child abuse of my son and daughter. My son is 7 years old, my daughter's 11. They need to know their father. Right now, they just know that he's a horrible man. And first of all, that's child abuse in its own. You know, let them decide how horrible I am. Let them decide how disgusting a man I am by getting to know me. But the Polish child abusers, they are quite happy to destroy family, because this is quite a big thing for all governments at the moment, is to destroy the family unit. And a lot of people are turning away from family because it's within communities you do tend to get a lot of help if you are not for family. There tend to be charities there if you're not for family, and that would be for those who are homosexual. There's a lot of charities for them. Those that are feminist, a lot of charities for them. As long as if you're a white man, then you don't have a charity. There's no charity for you. The slavish fears, the self-denial, the defiant behaviour, the feeling of loss, brokenness, it never leaves you. I'm sorry for rattling on, taking your very valuable time. I can actually see someone's watched it and someone's liked something I've said. But everywhere there are villains ready to accuse the faithful servants that do and say the right thing. It's honourable to choose the right path. It's honourable to do the right thing. Even if it puts you in trouble, it's honourable to do and say the right thing. Sometimes we have to take away those slavish fears and be confident enough to call a spade, and I'm in no way saying I'm a good man or the best father, but I'm not getting a chance to be a father right now. I would love the chance to be a father. I'd love the chance to be an employable man in the UK. I'd love a chance to mix in a community where we actually show some love, care and decency for one another. Because right now in Scotland, we've lost that. We've lost everything that was decent about Scotland. I know we've flooded the countries from everywhere else in the world, the same as Germany, Canada and whatever. But we've broken our government. It's run by beasts, by left-wing, abusive, baby-hating, family-destroying beasts Our councils are going the same way, and there's nothing else to do. I'll move away from this and stop speaking. 15 minutes is far too long for me to be doing anything. I would just ask that those on YouTube to let this be seen. Ask for any mothers and fathers in Poland to stand against child abuse. Any mothers that are actually taking their children out their father's lives, and you know that you've exaggerated or said the wrong thing about this father, and it's you that hates them, and you want your children to hate who you hate. You need to have a look at yourself. And continuing on this path, we're headed for a hell that no one's quite prepared for. Take care. Okay.